in one of the dumbest decisions I have ever seen an organization make. The Tennessee Titans have fired Ran Carthon. We're gonna talk about this and why this is, after the intro. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Bonafide, and this is Section 240, a channel all about the Tennessee Titans, but from a fan's perspective. Now, I want to preface this to you that this is going to get a bit ranty. It is going to get a bit ranty. One, and I'm gonna start off with some ground rules. One, I'm not leaving the Tennessee Titans as a fan. They're my team. I'm sticking with them. I done been through worse. So you're not gonna hear me say I'm leaving the team, going to find somebody else. I'm not picking up another team, not doing none of that. Also, that's the only rule I got. But let's get right into it. So today, after basically everybody else announced that they were keeping, the Colts came out and announced they were keeping their guys. The Giants came out and announced that they were keeping their guys. The Jaguars fired Doug Peterson, the Patriots fired Mayo. After all these teams made their decision, we waited till Monday, to Tuesday, today, to have the conversation that and find out that Rand Carthon had been fired or relieved from his duties as GM of the Tennessee Titans in his second year. So 2 years and he's gone. And the press release, now, obviously, we know that Amy came out and said nothing. I'm not even calling her Miss Amy no more. I'm just calling her straight up Amy. That is what it is. It ain't gonna be no more of this because we'll get on that in a minute. But Amy made Burke Nihill put out a press release, and it was a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. I might drop a link or whatever to it, but it basically was a whole bunch of crap, saying that she loved Rand, she loved working with him, but the product on the field wasn't up to par, and she felt like she needed to make a change, and all of this stuff. Yeah, whatever. A whole bunch of word salad that she just had somebody in the PR team, or maybe she used Chat GPT to write it up, but probably not. She's probably not using AI because she's gotten so good at writing these exiting statements for people that she's paying and firing less than, before they can even get to the end of their contract. She's probably got that down pat. So no AI here. This probably came directly from her. But yeah, she fired him, and then she said they're promoting Chad Brinker into this role where he will, and it's definitive. I don't want you to get anything misconstrued in this video. In that particular statement, she said Chad Brinker will have final control and final say over the roster. There is no more collaboration. It's things like Chad Brinker is going to do this. Now, I don't know what to say about Chad Brinker, but Chad Brinker was brought in to help Rand Carthon, and it seems like to me he has gotten his little finger on. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He got his little finger on. He was working behind the scenes and basically sabotaged. That's what it feels like. It may not be the case. I don't know, but today, looking at everything that's going on, it looks like he sabotaged Rand. He got the ear of Miss Amy and was feeding her information and basically got control. And this is the thing though. In the doggone presser that they're putting together, they're saying that he has final say, but he's not the GM. That's right, you heard me right. Chad Brinker isn't moving into the GM role. He's moving into the role where he has final say over all football roster operations decisions. And they're going to find a GM to come in. But that person isn't going to be the GM. It's just going to be an assistant GM, because after they fired Ran Carthon, they fired a security guy, two guys that had been with the team. I can't remember their names right off the bat, but two guys that had been with the team. I'll probably put it up here somewhere. Two guys that had been with the team for since the 90s, since they got here. And then they fired Anthony Robinson, and they fired another dude, but they fired Anthony Robinson. Remember, Anthony Robinson and Chad Brinker both hired at the same time. Anthony Robinson was the director of scouting, and Chad Brinker was brought over to kind of get the analytics and things like that. So now, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. And you, as a fan, probably won't like what I'm saying, but this reeks of dysfunction. It's got a hint of racism built into it, and it just reeks of a poor, idiotic decision made by Amy Adams Strunk. Now, why did I say all of that? Why did I say it reeks in it? Because Rand was a token. That's all he was. He was just a token. He came in here to work, and I'll tell you, he was a token because he made the one fatal decision that you couldn't make, is thinking that you got somebody's support and bringing on people who you may not have had a good relationship with, but yeah, bringing on people, and he got snaked. This is my opinion, but I feel like Chad Brinker snaked him. That is it. Chad Brinker, yeah, while he had the resume, he wasn't on anybody's radar to be a GM. He wasn't interviewing anywhere. Rand, on the other hand, was shooting up the ranks, getting recommendations from everybody. He was in the accelerator program. He gets the interview. They fall in love with him. He becomes the first black GM of the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee Titans history. And he doesn't even get 3 seasons to try to make something happen. In his first full season of being able to say, hey, I'm in control of the decisions, after that season, he gets canned. Now, whether you believe me or agree with me or not, I am the other person that says Rand shouldn't have been canned. They should have been able to get him and Brian. I ain't even really talking about Chad, but he was part of the organization. Those 3 should have been given another opportunity to see what they can do. Chad was the analytics guy, so we got analytics or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But Rand was the guy that was closing these deals. It's just plain and simple. Anthony Robinson came in there as a director of scouting. They were finding these players. Look at the draft that we had compared to the last draft that we had with John Robinson. Just look at what he did. We got Peter Skoronski. We got J.C. Latham in the draft. We got Josh Wiley in the draft. We got Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Tavondre Sweat. We picked up Cedric Gray and that. They might have had good seasons yet, but we got players that can be a part of that foundation. They got those. Rand was the one that made sure that we got Big Jeff back. Rand was the one that made sure we got a dynamic wide receiver to put with that garbage of a quarterback, Will Levis. We got Calvin Ridley, 1,000-yard receiver. Rand was maybe to make sure that, yes, when Derrick Henry walked from free agency, we weren't left with just Ty J back there trying to foot the load. We got a Tony Pollard in there who was more than a serviceable running back. He was the 3rd leading rusher in the AFC and then top 10 in rushing. Idiotic decision, man. Idiotic decision. Amy Adams Strunk, we have now fired, I don't even know how many coaches. She's fired Wisenhunt, she's fired Malarkey, she's fired Vrabel, she's fired John Robinson, she's now fired Ran Carthon, and guess who next? I'm telling y'all, if we don't win the Super Bowl next year, I don't even see how we could, and that's wild for me to say that, because I don't even see us winning the Super Bowl. Because we got to go to the playoffs first. We got to go to the playoffs. If we don't go to the playoffs, we're 6-11 or 5-12, or we're on the outside looking in, Brian Callahan may not even last the entire season. You see how dysfunctional it is? Instead of saying, hey, we're either going to do one or two things. We're going to keep everybody and give and work on patience, or we're going to clean house and we're going to start over. Because it's just going to keep the same cycle of foolishness going on time after time after time again. It's disrespectful to the fans who pay their hard-earned money to see the team that they support go through the same foolishness over and over and over again. And what really puts a crux in everything, she don't even talk to the media. When somebody asks why didn't why didn't Amy Adams Strunk come out and say what she wanted? You know what they said? Burke Nihill, who's the team president, you know what he said? Amy empowers me to talk about the organization, and she empowers Chad to talk about the football team. No accountability. No accountability whatsoever. She's not coming out and saying what she wants, what she's demanded. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just like, it's stupid. It's stupid. We are in a position right now where we're making the Jaguars and the Colts look like sane organizations. We got Bears fans saying, oh, and I thought it was bad over here. Nah, Tennessee Titans, laughingstock. Multiple national media people, Ian Rappaport, Matt Miller, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. A whole bunch of people are saying that we are a laughingstock. We are a laughingstock. They say all they can say, the word dysfunctional comes after you say Tennessee Titans. It is embarrassing, dog. It's embarrassing to say that I'm a fan of this team looking at the decisions that they made. You could like Rand, you could hate Rand, you could like Brian, you could hate Brian. But the fact of the matter is that we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, thinking it's gonna work. You got to take time. You got to take time. It's gotta work. You got players now on Twitter after they heard the news, verbally being expressing their displeasure with the move. So now we are all in dysfunction because none of the stuff that they put out there makes the structure any clearer. I don't care with nobody who has access to the team. I'm glad I probably don't have access to the team and I don't have those kind of sources because I'm not beholden to anybody. It's my channel. Say what I want about this team. And right now, it's just a whole bunch of idiots. It's a clown show right now, dog. An absolute clown show. Now, could this all work out? Absolutely. Could everything, at the end, it was the right move. We were fired. Yeah, but right now, in this moment right here, so close to free agency, so close to the draft, we look unstable. We paying people that don't even work here anymore money. Just throwing it out there. You're a billionaire. You do whatever you want to with your money. But we're just throwing money out there. We're paying Mike Vrabel, paying John Robinson. Now, I think their contracts may finally be up. But now we're going to be paying Ran Carthon, Anthony Robinson, all these people that they've let go to not be here. So, Rand straight. He gonna get paid. His agent gonna make sure that he get what he deserves, his just desserts. But now guess what? Guess you know who gotta be terrified right now, though? Brian Callahan. Because you were right there with Rand Carthon. Chad, you were right there with Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan making these same decisions. That same team that y'all put together, collaborated on, went 3-14. So why are they still here and Rand's gone? Chad supposed to be the analytic guy. He the one supposed to be putting it together, saying who's this and who is that. Why is that, Why is he gone? Why isn't he gone? It stinks, dog. It really stinks. And I'm not just saying that, it stinks. It stinks. But the silver lining is you can't blame it on Rand no more. You can't say Rand ain't bringing in the draft picks. You can't because it's all on Chad and it's all on Brian. They got to win games next year. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They got to win games next year. But it's really a farce because if they don't, Chad ain't gonna get fired because he separated himself. He's like, I'm not the GM. I'm the president of football operations. The GM guy I hired, he's supposed to be doing this, but he ain't nothing but a glorified assistant GM. So you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna put it on Brian. Brian gonna get fired, and it's probably gonna take a couple of years before he ever gets another sniff at doing this. So yes, the Tennessee Titans are a dysfunctional mess, an absolute dysfunctional mess, and it starts at the top. Amy Adams Strunk is the reason why this team is spiraling like here because of those emotional decisions that she continues to make that aren't based off of anything sound, just rash decisions. Just rash decisions. You're going to have people that say, hey, this Ran Carthon was the right move. You're going to have something that's wrong. But it was a rash decision. You got a first-year head coach. You got a quarterback that you know ain't the guy, but you went all in on him to support him. You had to spend the money. People talking about, oh, he spent $200 million. You got to spend the money. You can't keep it. You can't keep it because then if he's spending on players that weren't good, you be complaining about that. So you got to spend the money. So miss me with, oh, he spent on this one. We got a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-yard running back, good defensive players in the draft, right tackle or left tackle of the future. Right tackle need to be fixed. But now that's all gone and kaput. So what we gonna do? We got the number 1 overall draft pick. We can't mess this up. Can't mess it up. So what we gonna do? We gonna trade back for picks? We gonna get another, we gonna pick up Shadur? We gonna get Cam? We don't even know. We don't even know. Like this right here, this decision that was made was complete idiot. It was just complete idiocy. There's no ifs, ands, or ways, or buts about it. You maybe agree with me, you may disagree, but it was completely idiotic to fire just Rand and keep those other 2 when all 3 of them were responsible. Now, if all 3 of them would have got fired, you wouldn't, video may be different. But right now, you just hit me with he's the token GM. It's all his fault. He's responsible for it all. Now, and then you got writers out there like Paul Kaharski who come off the bat saying he never really liked Rand Carthon anyway. For whatever reason, some one-sided beef. Didn't like Rand Carthon in the beginning, but now he's writing all these articles talking about Rand was lazy or didn't have work ethic or didn't. Come on, bro. Really? Really? Didn't have no work ethic. Wasn't picking no players. You can't skate through this job. You can't. But he the only one out there putting that in there. The league got people out there looking and saying, well, what's going on over there? Right now, Titans are the laughingstock of the NFL because you suck so bad you got the number 1 pick, which means you had the worst season out of anybody out of 32 teams for a 17, 18 game season. You suck that bad. And now your leadership is making rash decisions based off of what? It's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, let me stop. Let me get this rant over for now. But now we're gonna have to figure out what GM is gonna want to come in here knowing that he doesn't have the final say. It's probably gonna go like this. We're probably gonna get a Rooney Rule interview, but I don't know if they got to do the Rooney Rule interview because they had a diversity candidate before. So maybe not have to do that, but if they'll probably get that out of the way, interview somebody, Rooney Rule, check that box. Then Chad Brinker and the team will hire a GM that is spineless and say, hey, I won't challenge what you're doing. I'll go with the flow. I believe in that process. Or he'll hire a buddy that he used to work with, and then they'll go in here and they'll figure out who they're gonna draft and whoever it be. But then when the season rolls around and this noise has died down and we've kind of moved on through this because free agencies happen, who comes here anymore? Who comes for free agency knowing that, you might be playing for another coach next year? That was Rand's specialty, bringing in people, talking to people. But now you get to the season and you start off 1-2 or 1-3, 1-5, depending on what pick, then what? Go fire Brian Callahan in the middle of the season and then start this crap all over again. But hey, that's what the owner wants. That is what the owner's gonna get. Glad it ain't my money. That's all I gotta say. As remember, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, man, because it's not a good day today, but hopefully things turn around. And like I always say, there's plenty of room in this section for us all. Tighten up.